And now it's time to move on to bringing this great plan to life.
One of the big things that we do every year is we get in a bunch of cardboard. We order 4x8 sheets like this.
What I love to buy is cardboard in the 4x8 dimension. The cool thing about that is it's the same dimension as a sheet of wood.
And we actually have a cardboard factory here in town that we got connected with. So that might be a great resource for you to try to check out. See if there's any container or cardboard factories nearby that you can get cardboard from. Before we got connected with the cardboard factory, we actually used a local art supply store for getting our cardboard. It was a little bit better quality, but it was also a little bit more expensive. So there's a few tips on where you can get some of this great cardboard that we use.
Before I ever painted on a 4-foot by 8-foot sheet of cardboard, I was painting on refrigerator boxes. So refrigerator boxes are huge, and they're already in the shape of a 3-dimensional rectangle, which you can do a lot with.
We spend a couple of days just laying it all out and rolling down base coats.
We're going to roll out the cardboard with our designated color. So you figured that out. So we're putting that base color down on our 4-foot by 8-foot sheets of cardboard.
And the best way to do that is to just get a roller and make sure you've got one of these. The most important part is to have one of those so that you save your back, never have to bend over. We put sheets of cardboard all over the floor of our gym and just go around and roll down a good base coat. And that's the first step in painting. If your church is anything like ours, folks like you to keep the paint just on the VBS set and not on everything else. We buy 6mm plastic sheeting and get the good thick stuff, because when people are walking on it and you're moving tables and all of that, the thinner stuff will definitely rip on you. So it comes in rolls from 8-foot wide, 10-foot wide, 20-foot wide, and also 100 feet long. Some of the stores carry it in their painting section. Other of the stores may carry it where you might find insulation. Even if we're not planning on painting in a certain section, we're still going to cover it, because find out that sometimes people get it on their shoes. But we cover everything wall to wall.
And you're probably going to have a whole bunch of cardboard that you're rolling out. Even if it's only 8 sheets of cardboard, it probably feels like a lot to you. That usually takes us a few nights to do.
After we've laid down that base coat, what we found out happens with the cardboard is it begins to curl. And so we'll take a couple of days before we do our final work on that. We lay the cardboard flat and we put all kinds of weights on it. We use tables, we use paint buckets, we use anything we can just to flatten it a little bit. And then we find out if we flatten it for a day or so, when we go to do the detail work, it's a lot easier because we're not fighting with that cardboard curling up so much.
You've got your cardboard with its base color on it. So let's say that base color is beige. And then I take that beige color and I start penciling on it. So I might be using an overhead projector, maybe I'm drawing up a cheetah, or as we were talking about, the sandbar that goes behind the flamingos. So anyways, you're gonna do something to that painted cardboard. You're gonna be sketching on top of that. You might be using the overhead projector, you might be using your geometry skills. It might be a sign and it needs 4 squares on each of the corners, and so you're measuring and penciling lines on each of that, or you might be drawing by freehand on it. But the cardboard traditionally does not just stay plain, you're going to do something to it. So I'll do tracings from magazines or books, and then those little line drawings can translate into an overhead transparency, which then can be projected. So for instance, this little guy was kind of a combination of a piece of clip art that I modified to suit my needs. So it's just a quick way to get your art generated and done. You're going to take that penciled or markered piece of cardboard and you're going to start doing some detail painting on it. Now that painting might be more along the paint by number line of work, and you know what? I'm a firm believer in paint by numbers. It's the best way to get awesome graphic design out there. It's where you're doing your patterns and your simpler drawings and paintings of animals. And I think it brings a lot of life to a set, and it allows a wide range of talents and abilities to be an active part of things. So I love that phase. I love the paint by number approach. But also some of your penciled out sheets are probably going to be realistic animals, and you'll know your people that come through the doors that are just amazing at whatever. So you give them the lions to do, or you give them the elephants to do, or you give them the rocks to do. And you'll be giving them a folder that has all their visual aids in it that's designated for rocks or designated for lions. So trying to keep organized and keep people going. Oh, so really I try really hard to accommodate all talent levels depending upon who signs up, who shows up, to be ready for anybody and everybody.